Hello everyone, this is Patrick in the studio. How you doing? So today I'm going to make a mug. So I got a piece of clay here. I wedged it up. I'll do a little more wedging just to show you that. This clay is a little stiff, but it'll be fine. Alright, and then I'm going to pound it into start getting it into a slab. Like so. In preparation, I found this can. I'm going to wrap my slab around this Italy coffee can. I think that's how it's pronounced. I got a piece of paper here I'm going to wrap around the can. Piece of newspaper. Got other things, some rulers over here. You'll see how I'm going to use that. I got some slip handy. Alright, pound it up, pound it out. I want this longer than wider because my can is about 6 inches high, so my slabs don't need to be any wider than that, but I want to make it longer so I can wrap it around the can. So I've got my trusty rolling pin. Now at this point my slab is not going to be very consistent in terms of its thickness. So for that purpose I'm going to put these rulers on each side of it. That way. The rulers, this is like the poor man's slab roller. As I roll it out, I'm going to loosen it up and stick it to my wear board, and then flip it around, and then I'll roll it out some more. And if I get a little air pocket, sometimes I get little air pockets in the clay. I'll take a pin tool, poke some holes in it like that. I don't have to start all over again, in other words. And those little pinholes will disappear eventually. But in the meantime, it'll push the air out of the clay, and hopefully I won't have a little air pocket in there. There we go. Beautiful job. Alright. This video might be 2 parts because I don't think it's going to take me longer than 10 minutes. There we go. Alright. Now I'm going to trim one edge like this with the ruler. Oh, there we go. I'm going to make sure the can, that's enough for the can, so look at that little mark there, I'm going to roll it all the way around and see where it goes. Oh yeah, just enough, that's just perfect, perfect. And then I'm going to take my ruler and measure, this can is 6 inches, I believe, yep. So I'll make this 5 inches, let's say. So I'll take my ruler, that ruler is too long, I'll grab my shorter ruler, and measure 5 inches. I do want a little clay left over. I'm going to make a handle for this too. We'll see how that goes. One could pull a handle, but I don't want to get into pulling a handle because that takes a lot of practice. So I'm going to show you some easier way. And this little strip I'm cutting off here will probably be for my handle. Never, just save your scraps of clay. You'd be surprised what they can come in handy. They always come in handy for various things. Go. There's my nice strip of clay. I'm going to take my can and wrap the newspaper around. If I roll the slab around the can, it's going to stick to it, and I'll never get it out without messing the whole job up. So I'm going to take this piece of newspaper, roll it around the coffee can, like that, and I'm going to tape the newspaper not to the can, but to itself. So I got some tape here. Tape, tape, tape. There we go, good enough. I made this sleeve a little bit longer than the can so it'll be easier to pull it out later. Now I'm going to roll my slab around the can, overlap it, like so. Just made it. I'm going to take my pin tool, and where it overlaps, I'm going to cut the clay, like so. Eliminate the pieces I don't need. Save these for other things, and then I'm going to take my slip with my serrated or serrated scraper, I call it a rib. Take the rib and the slip, score and slip my edges. I could have overlapped them and then scored and slipped that all together, so I have that nice raw edge. That could be an interesting decorative element. And then I'll push this together, meet these up, push them together like so. That's pretty simple and straightforward, all right? Take my rib, go up and down the seam. I'm a little short here, so I'll take just a little bit of clay, and I'm going to put my handle where the seam is, and that'll help reinforce it and kind of hide it too as well. All right, so there you go. I've got my body for the mug, okay? Very good. I'll put that aside for a moment. I'll take these little scrap pieces of clay. I'm going to roll these together. In fact, I'm going to score and slip them a little bit. See how they come apart so easily? If you don't score and slip things, they can come right apart. And there we go. Score and slip. Score and slip this piece. Push these together. Take my rolling pin, my trusty rulers. Roll that, there we go. And that'll be hopefully big enough for the bottom. I'm going to roll a little bigger, make sure it is. Thing is, as you work on things, you're going to develop what I call the artist's eye. You can look at size and shapes and think, is that going to fit that? Is that big enough? How tall is that? All that stuff. That's a skill you develop. So there you go, that fits. Then I'm going to score and slip my bottom here. There we go. And then I'm going to score and slip this too a little bit. Why not, right? Oops, you can see that. And then I'll put this on here. Now everything I do, there's 10 variations on it. All right, I'm just doing what's simple, straightforward, and easy. Cut the excess off here. There we go. Then I'll take my rib again, take the smooth edge of it, and blend this upward like so. So the bottom is sticking to the main body of the mug or drinking vessel, whatever we're going to call it. All right. And all I got to do is put a handle on it. Now look at the top edge. See, everything has an edge on it. And I'm a real stickler for edges. When you look at this, the first thing you see is the edge. So I always think edges are important. I could just take a damp sponge and wipe over the edge and make it smooth. I could at least do that. If I think this looks too thick, I could pinch the edge. I could put decorations on it. I could really take a tool. I could do all kinds of things. But think of the edges. Edges are so important visually, as well if you're going to drink out of something like this. You don't want the edge to be sharp or have an edge to it, you know, a sharp edge to it, so you can take something and smooth it out, even if it's just your finger or a damp sponge. Now that I've got that, I brought these children's building blocks up here. I picked these up at a garage sale. You know, I like to stamp them into things. So that way they leave the impression of the letter or number, you know. It's just another way of decorating. I mean, there's hundreds of things literally in your house that you can use to create surface treatment in a piece, you know. For example, I had a bunch of these little hearts I was collecting. This is a little box I made for my wife for Valentine's Day. You know, here's another little mug I used to stamp letters into a little teacup, you know, very handy. All right, so it's 9 minutes. I'm going to stop this and we'll go on to part 2. So this is part 1, and then part 2 coming up.